and welcome to the Forest Avenue Sportsvine, Drake's only place where you can find out about the world of sports. As always, I am Joel Fry, your moderator, and with me are three of Drake's finest sports analytical personalities, Kate Byer, Greg Vitava, and Brent Walker. We're going to be starting off this show with probably the biggest news in sports so far is the baseball playoffs. Going to the National League playoffs first. Game 1, Arizona versus Colorado. No one thought Colorado was going to get there. Now we have a very provocative pitching matchup, Brandon Webb against Jeff Francis. What do you think is going to happen in this series?
I'm going to go for the Rockies. I don't mind that they came on late in the season. I think it's great to get hot. They've won 17 of their last 18 games. They got a kid on the mound that's throwing 100. They got the best fielding percentage of the season. And I think their bullpen can outlast anyone. I mean, yeah, Webb's great. Maybe he'll take game 1, but I say Rockies in 6.
I'm gonna say Rockies. It's gonna take 7, I believe. But what I'm just excited about is how the Diamondbacks and the Rockies both were tied for last in the West last year, and now they're the two best teams in NL. I mean, that's just good baseball right there. Young players, just excites me. Good postseason so far.
I'm just going to go against you guys. I'm just going to say the Diamondbacks. I think Brandon Webb is the far superior pitcher. They could get him 3 times, and if you have him pitching 3 times, if it goes 7, he will pitch 3 times. I will give you that right now. But he was the last one to beat them in their last 18 games. They've won 17 of 18. He was the last one to beat them. They actually clinched a playoff berth that night. And I just think the young hitters they have, nobody knows anything about the Diamondbacks. You can ask people in Phoenix. 12,000 seats still open for that game. Nobody has any clue really about this team. You have Chris Young, who's just destroying the ball in the leadoff position. I'm a White Sox fan. I'm really mad they got rid of him. They traded him for Vasquez, I believe, and he's one of the big guys. But the only problem I see they have Eric Burns batting 3rd. Eric Burns. That's all I have to say about that, but they do have good bullpen. Valverde is very good. I want to say he led the National League in saves.
47 saves. Baseball.
And they also have Lyon, who had 3 holds, I believe, all against...
No, they didn't. Well,
I believe he had 3 holds.
But look at how the defense played, like the Cubs. Look at Game 3. The Cubs had every chance to score, and it was on their air that they didn't. It wasn't because of the Diamondbacks' great defense. I mean, there was runners on base all the time. So I just think the Rockies will just have the muscle to get through that.
And the Rockies are hot. It's all about streaks in baseball. I mean, they won. What have they won now? 17 of 18. So I mean, they're hot. I mean, White Sox got hot when they won it. Cardinals got hot, even though they had a horrible last season. And I guess Boston.
Both teams have also been off 5 days too, haven't they? By the time they'll play, and I don't know. I guess they had the schedule set up to do that. I just think that's way too long between. What's the NBA playoffs where you need to give them all this time? I say, oh well, you guys had yours. I say Diamondbacks in 7.
I would have to say the Diamondbacks, probably in 7, but I'm going to say Diamondbacks in 6. I did get a chance to see a lot more of them in the National League playoffs than the Colorado Rockies. And really what it comes down to is this is a team that has more experience, although albeit minimal, than Colorado does. Colorado has nothing as far as experience goes. That doesn't always win you ball games. But like you said, Brandon Webb is going to pitch 3 times. He could easily win 2 or 3 games in this NLCS. He's not the only good pitcher that Arizona has. Colorado doesn't have a lot of proven pitchers because they all play in Denver, and no one really pays attention to them outside of Jeff Francis. So, yeah, it's probably going to be Arizona in 6. Now we go over to the American League playoffs. Another great matchup here. We've got a couple of teams with 2 bona fide playoff aces. At least we saw that in the first round. In games 1 and 2, the Red Sox are going to have 2 guys who did not give up an earned run in the division series in Curt Schilling and Josh Beckett. So who is really going to be favored in this series according to you?
Well, according to me, I'm going to favor Cleveland. I think that they are young, they're talented. CC Sabathia is a great pitcher. Their bullpen's even getting solid. Throughout the lineup, they just have hitters that can get on base. They hustle every single one of them. They don't have Manny Ramirez on their team, who's just gonna sluggishly make his way through the playoffs. I think that Cleveland's gonna win it. I think it's gonna be a 5. I think they're gonna win it in 5.
I'll give it to Cleveland 6, but I do go along with that. Betancourt out of the bullpen, I believe, has pitched 68 times and has like a 1.45 ERA. He's been lights out coming out of there. Joe Borowski is their 1 weak link at closer, and he, I believe, set also an ERA record for a save leader with, I believe, 5.5, something like that. But they have young talent. They like to run here and there. And just something about them. I've seen a lot of them watching throughout the season, past 2 years when they made that run 2 years ago, fell short. But this is a team that's grown, has had growing pains, and has done all that. And I think Boston relies too much on David Ortiz and Manny Ramirez. I mean, you had the Angels basically pitching around Ortiz to get to Ramirez, which is never good. But, I mean, if you're going to lose, at least pitch to Ortiz. And I think you have guys on Cleveland who will. And I think the big X factor is the guy who clinched it for the Indians, Paul Byrd. And he'll end up going up against Tim Wakefield in Game 4, and you will not see a pitch over 75 miles an hour in that game.
Okay, come on. Seriously, show some love for Boston, all right? Beckett's the only 20-game winner. Schilling's got the best postseason record ever. I think he's 9-2. That's nothing to sneeze at. You know, Dice K might falter. I'm not worried about Wakefield either, and Papelbon's a great closer. Pitching's great. If you look at their hitting, they do have the best hitters. I'm not worried about CC at all because I think we can handle them. And, you know, if Ortiz or Manny don't do it, then we've got Veritek, we got Lowell. We're going to be fine hitting, and nobody pays attention to Boston's defense, which is also doing excellent. I don't think you can count that out. I say Boston in 5.
Way to not show bias by referring to the Red Sox as we. I appreciate that you kept an
Red
objective
Sox
opinion
Nation,
throughout.
So when they lose, will it still be we lost or they lost?
I don't see them losing considering they're going to take the series. There's no AL team that can't beat an NL team.
Well, I will agree with that. I believe the AL team will win the World Series.
We said that last year, though, but I think the one thing is if the Rockies go, you have Cleveland and you have Boston going to Colorado, and there's no home field advantage for the Rockies. I don't care who they go up against. But I do agree with that. American League should win the World Series, but we said that last year.
I got the Indians winning the World Series, and I have since March. We're going to have to take a very brief break here, but stick around for more. We're talking pro football later on the Forest Avenue Sportsvine.